this is Shel from Paper Octio Studio, and today I'm sharing with you a little collaboration that someone set up within the group of the Creative Arts Collaboration. This is a art swap, basically, a mail art swap, where we are all making 8 of the same thing and sending it to a person who's going to sort it, and then we'll receive 8 different ones back. I have a plan for what I'm going to do with these, and I will make another video once I get them all back. But everyone was to pick an inspiring word, and I picked love because that's a good word. And so right now I'm making a little drawing of some elephants, a mama and a baby, that have their trunks entwined. I did have a photo that I looked at to do this drawing. I got it from Pinterest. I just happened to see it and I thought, oh, that's so cute. And so I decided to use it for the card. Once I'm finished drawing with my graphite pencil, that's a drafting mechanical pencil with a soft lead, then I'm going over my drawing with my pet pens. This is a wallet of all black pens. It has different size nibs, bullet tip, chisel tip, brush tip. There's just a whole bunch of them in there. It's really good for if you like to do illustration. I use the medium tip to do all the lines, and then now I'm using the extra small to go back in and add hash lines. Kind of hard to see them in the video, but you'll be able to tell at the end that they're there. It's just for adding texture and wrinkles to the little elephants. Then I scanned them with my computer and printed them out onto regular paper, so that I wouldn't have to make the drawing 8 times. Didn't want to draw it 8 times. 1 time was enough. And then I used some liquid matte medium to go over them so that they wouldn't smear, because it's an inkjet printer. So if I'm going to use it with mixed media, I need to seal it somehow. So that's how I sealed it. Then cut them apart, and then I added, at the bottom, the trunks, I wanted them to show completely, so I just added that at the bottom on each drawing. And then now I'm coloring. I'm going to use shades of gray. These are my Neocolor 2 watercolor pencils, which I mean not pencils, but crayons, which I really love. They're water reactive, so I will be blending them with water and a little bit of paint to make them more permanent, using my water barrel brush once I get all the color on there. So I did this 8 times, but I'm only going to show you one of the cards that I made, the first one. They all turned out slightly different because that's just how art is. Even though you're making something the same, it still comes out different. Especially the backgrounds, they were all quite different. So then I'm blending this using brush with a synthetic bristle that has water in the barrel. This one I think is a Pentel Aquash. And I'm dipping it in some white paint. You could also use glazing medium, liquid matte medium, even white gesso, although not white, but clear gesso. I'm kind of sleepy. My clear gesso is very sandy, so I don't use that. But if you didn't want the colors to lighten, you could just skip the white paint and use something that's clear. I don't mind it. I just go ahead and use the cheap acrylic paint to do it with a little bit of water. It's no big deal. Once I've got all the grays, I added in some extra highlight colors. On the mama, I used a pink, magenta, and on the baby, I used a lavender, just for fun. Then I fussy cut them, and I'm going to use them for collage onto my cards. The swap is 4 inches by 4 inches, and so I cut 8 of those out of 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper. So now I have the little cards, and I'm doing the backgrounds. I've got some Brusho and some Ken Oliver Color Burst powders. These are pigment powders, just pure pigment. And I wet the card a little bit, then I sprinkled them on, and then I wet it some more. And I'm just letting it smoosh itself around. I forgot to, for this first one, I forgot to spray the back to make it not curl as much. If you spray the back of the watercolor paper, then spray the front of the watercolor paper, it won't curl as much. It'll still curl a little bit, but it'll flatten back out. Then I used a piece of bubble wrap and some of that leftover white paint to add a little bit more white back into my background. Then I decided I wanted to do some drips. And on all the other cards I used dioxazine purple as well as this quinacridone magenta and the titanium white. These are golden high flow paints. They're very liquidy. I didn't add the purple on this one, but all the rest of them I did. This was just the first one I did. I also sealed them all with a brayer and clear gesso before I did this step. The color burst in Brusho is smearing on this one. So the elephant's got a little bit more of the pinky purple colors than I intended because it's not sealed. So that's how come I sealed the rest of them before I did this step. So I collaged on the elephants and then I'm trimming off the excess around the edges. I left them bigger than 4x4, not knowing exactly how I was going to position them on the card. And of course, each one of them turned out slightly different, where I positioned it or, you know, all the different things. And I added some more white again over the top, just for texture, visual texture, using that piece of bubble wrap. Then I went around the edges of the cards using the watering can color, that's a dark gray, of the archival ink to, you know, color the edges because I like to have a little bit of a border. And then I've got this stencil which is from Tamara Laporte, that's Willowing Art, and I bought a set of 6 of her little stencils. And I'm blocking out the parts that I don't want to use. The word is loved, but my word is love. So I just want to use that portion of it. And then I have this light modeling paste, and I'm going to put through the stencil with the white modeling paste onto the card. And this will create a raised word. And I'm also using one of the little hearts down at the bottom. So it's raised up from the card because it's a texture paste. And I'm cleaning off my stencil. I thought I cut that part out, but I guess I didn't. And then I'm going to dry just this one with my heat tool. With all the rest of them, I let them dry naturally, but I was trying to get everything filmed. Then I took a Stabilo All pencil and went around the raised portions. Actually, I just started with the heart, and then I decided that I needed my lines to be blacker on the elephant. And so I just went around in kind of a sketchy way, highlighting some of the lines with my black fine tip Posca pen, and I thought that really helped. The lines got weak because I was going over them with crayon and diluted paint, so I didn't do every single line, I just did the major lines. When that was finished, then I go back to the Stabilo All pencil, which is a highly water reactive pencil, go around all the raised portions and give them a grayish black shadow to make it stand out more. Of course, you can feel it as well. And then the final thing that I did was to use my fine tip Posca pen in white and go around adding highlights to my elephants. And then something that I did off camera was to add some glitter glue to the heart, and that pretty much finishes it up. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. Oh, and of course, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.